Welcome all. Getting it in. The Overthinker podcast. Peace, peace. We here today. We're going to start off with a quick moment of silence and then we're going to get into it. Just want to start off also by just being thankful for the day, thankful for everything that's going on, the negative and the positive. So just quick moment of silence and we're going to get started. All right. So today we're talking about secret knowledge, right? That's at least that's what I put as the title. Secret knowledge. What's the secret? What are we talking about when we talking about secret knowledge, occults, different things of that nature? Um, and I hit on a couple of the topics yesterday, last night in the previous episode, episode 2, when we were talking about the real you. And so those topics we're gonna be going over. I got a couple of different books that we also gonna go into, not really going into the books in the sense of um, reading line by line and different things, but just to show what type of knowledge is out here, what type of knowledge that you can get just by doing your research, doing your due diligence at the end of the day, and realizing that, yeah, it's a different secret societies are what they proclaim as secret societies because they want to run things or keep certain people out so they can run things a certain type of way in their fashion or in their fraternity, and they involve people of the same kind of like mind to be involved in their endeavors, right? So that's the whole purpose of a lot of these occults and different things of that nature when we talking about secrets, right? Because secrets is keeping something confidential and different things like that. So it's different words that we can use to even describe these things, but certain words are being marketed or pushed in the forefront so it keeps away certain people. But once you break down and start to unveil secret knowledge, occults, secret societies, you find out that it's people that's like you and me first off, and then not only that, it's it's really not a secret. It's just people trying to keep what they have going on between the people that's going to help them get to where they need to be. Their mastermind group, their team, their tribe, however you want to put it. So we're gonna dive into that tonight. Like I always say, if you got your drink, got your smokes, if you're taking notes, it's a great time to do it and get it in. And I hope everybody blessed and highly favored out there. So we're gonna get it going. The first topic that we're gonna be getting into is uh what is it all about? Okay, like, and when we say what is it all about, we talking about what's the secrets all about, right? What's the purpose of certain fraternities, certain organizations? Some people like to call it gatekeeping, keeping out or keeping certain knowledge or filtering certain knowledge at their particular time to the public so they can achieve whatever end goal that they trying to achieve with certain people that see things the way they see it. Okay. So when we see secret, confidential, people that's being picky, as in the sense I don't want to say picky, that's really not really the word I want to use, but being confidential in who they have coming in, that's all we talking about. We not talking about um something that's outlandish when we say these conspiracies, right? My thing is I'm a conspiracy theorist, and one of the things I had to start going in on the conspiracy theory about is I had to start looking into conspiracies as if they was conspiracies themselves. I had to reverse engineer the conspiracy theories that's out here and really look into it and really follow the people that dive into these things to break it down, to really see the history behind it, to really see, well, who writing these stories and books to tell us about what's going on. Who are these individuals that look like me and you that's telling us the conspiracies, right? So me re-engineering it started getting me to a different perspective when it comes to occults, secret knowledge, and what they were trying to hide, or if they were trying to hide anything in the first place and was just trying to bamboozle people to keep them away from what they had going on, right? Because we have to put ourselves in situations, not in an elitist situation, right? But in just situations. So we don't want everybody in our business. But does that make us any less good or any less bad, right? We don't want certain people around our kids. We don't want certain people around us because we don't want them to mess up our environment and what we got going on, right? So we keep certain things to ourselves, right? We keep certain things confidential. We have our own occult personally, but we don't think about it like that because people not giving it to us like that. People pointing fingers at these particular things instead of doing what they doing and multiplying off what they doing, right? Once we start to really see that nothing has changed, but everything has been recycled, right? Everything has been revamped to make it seem new, right? But it's just a renewing of. Then we can see what's going on from a different perspective, because it's all about perspective, right? So we asking ourselves, right? I'm overthinking to myself, but what is this all about? In the sense of people trying to keep certain things away from the public, people trying to keep uh, class systems and factions, and writing certain narratives, so we have the world and the society that we in today. I know y'all got a question. Go ahead and drop it in the comment. You good? So as as let me see how I want to see this. As we proceed, or how, let me step back. Me overthinking about what it's all about, I had to take a different perspective, because at the end of the day, we have been programmed to think, visualize, and see things a certain way, right? That's why certain words are being used instead of the synonyms, instead of the antonyms, instead of another word that mean the same thing, right? Why is that, right? Why are certain things, even though occult means secret, why y'all using occult? Because it turns off people from wanting to do certain things. Let's just take, I'm not a Freemason or anything like that. I know people that are, and different things of that nature. But if you go to any, I got Freemason books, right? So let's start. One of the books that we gonna be looking at tonight is the Secret Teachings of the Ages, and it's written by Manly P. Hall, who was a Freemason. It's, so the Secret Teachings of All Ages, the man written by Manly P. Hall, but he was Freemason. A lot of people don't know. Everybody have different spiritual foundations and different things of that nature. And if once you start getting into Freemasonry, you realize those guys come together just based off what? The lightness of a mindset. They got different bases in Christian, Islam, different this. They study different works and all of these different things, but ain't nothing a secret. The same books that they're reading out of is the same books you can go to Barnes and Nobles and get. So we gotta be real with ourselves when we start asking the question, well, what is it really all about? Right? So anytime we talk about secret knowledge, occult knowledge, we talking about information, because that's what it's all about. Appreciate it. Peace, love, and life. That's what it's all about. Information. Right? Because what we do with the information, regardless if whatever sector or fashion, whether we agree or disagree, What matters from the information, the secrets, is what we do with it. How do we apply those things to our life? The principles and the laws, what we went into the first episode about, if y'all missed that, right? So once we identify what it's all about, we can start to go into the next topic, right? Which is, what's the purpose of life and death, right? What's the purpose? Because we already went into what's this all about when we talk about information. Life and death is our titles, right? But we got to understand it's titles for us to identify what is going on, right? We have to remember that death is the word that they're using to describe something. That's it. That's it. So, because instead of, put it like this, a synonym for death is transitioning, to transcend. So why don't we use that instead of the word that we use on a more consistent basis, right? Life is what? Is birth, or a coming in, birthing of life, spirit, right? Taking on what? Flesh. So what? We call that what? Life, birth. So at the end of the day, when we ask ourselves, okay, well, what's even the purpose of that? What's the purpose? Right? Now watch this. One of the universal laws is everything stays in motion. So once you start to understand the law and the principle behind it, the information, now we can see the purpose behind it. The reason why I say this is because laws and principles give us access. Once we start to understand the laws and principles, then we have access to purpose. Okay? So purpose is what? Purpose of life and death is to what? Move on. Move on, because nothing is what? Ever still. So you can't be still in something that's continually going. Meaning you can't live forever while everything else is changing around you. It don't work like that. Yes, they portray movies because they feed into the imagination. So when you go and think about certain things, you go and think, your imagination takes you to where they want it to go. That's why sitting in silence, what we talked about last night, right? Applying the law of perpetuality and infinite creativity, sitting in silence, right? That's why that's important. So back to the topic, the purpose of life and death is to move on. That's why understanding, comprehending the word recycle, or your prefix re, is that important, because nothing is new. Everything is renewed, recycled, rediscovered on the plane of existence that we live on, because the plane that we live on is the foundation for the creativity to continue. Okay? We got to remember, we are in a basis of creativity, meaning we live on a canvas that we continue, we, the beings on the creative beings on the canvas, continuously create based on what's already here when you got here. And for everyone, it's pretty much the same thing. So the purpose of life and death, what is it? To be recycled. Because another thing, last night we went into the book of the energy codes, right? Dr. Sue Morter, she says that we are energy and spirit, right? Energy never what? Dies. It's only what? Recycled. So once you know who you are, you can start to use the laws and principles, the tools that we have in order to have access, right? In order to have access to what's going on. That's why when we see our leaders and stuff, right, come on here and they say, oh, we live forever, right? We have one of the dudes that I follow, I forget his name right now, but I forget this guy. I wish I remembered his name. But I follow him, and he's a medium, and he goes into, we don't die, you just go on and keep going and you keep going and you keep going. Why is he saying this stuff? Not because he just coming up with something or there's something really talking to him. either way, it's fine by me. But once you start to understand laws, you understand it. You can see why that starts to what makes sense. All right. So we got to remember, what's the purpose of life and death? Is recycle, to renew, to move on, because nothing stays still. You can't stay still, and you cannot stay still when everything is in motion. Right. So that's one of the topics I really wanted to hit. The purpose of life and death is because we get caught up in it, right? Religions, different things of that nature, spiritualities, right? We get caught up in the whole purpose, and understanding these different things is recycling. Because whether we go into a new plane of existence, whether we go into heaven or hell, right? We're still being recycled, regardless of how we feel or what we want to think, or the story that we come up with in the illustration that we come up in our mind based off the information that others are giving us. So we have to remember that all the information, all the observations are already here. We have to take time to use our intuition and use discernment to see what's really going on, right? And we just do it by taking our time. So I know that particular definition, or the particular purpose of what I just said about life and death, might not be the most glamorous and different things of that nature, but at the end of the day, that's just what it is. And that's just what it is, because the only way you know is when you transcend, right? So the next topic we getting ready to go on is why is there secret knowledge in the first place, right? One thing that I said on here before is all secret knowledge is information. That's it. So when we ask ourselves, what secret knowledge, you come on here, you looking for some secrets, and you come on here looking for this, that, and the third, all you're doing is looking for information. The deeper you dig, the more details you get about the information, about what happened, what transpired, what's going on, who's doing this, who's doing that, right? So secret knowledge at its foundation is information. And information is always given freely, no matter if somebody wants to what? Try to gatekeep it, try to hide it. Because at the end of the day, they just trying to slow you down. But information is information, whether we want to call it a secret or we want to call it open. The whole purpose of secret knowledge is to what? Hold information. That's it. That's why we coming into a lot of this information. We like, oh, they on this, that, and third. We saying this. Oh, it's all type of stuff coming out. Egypt in America, Egypt this, or this the real information about this who got this who got that. At the end of the day, it's not a secret. It was never a secret. That's why you got the information. And the information was always here. The thing is, people distracted you from getting the information. You had access to it, but what? We have distractions. So the title is Secret Knowledge, Overthinking Secret Knowledge. All secret knowledge is information. That's it. And everybody has access to this information, whether we say we don't or not. Because you have the information. Some information comes from your intuition. Some information comes from your instincts, right? Some information comes from people like me and you. Majority of our information comes from people like me and you, or through observation, science. So once we see all the ways we gather information, at the end of the day, how many secrets can they hold? How many secrets do we have really out here in the world? And that's what we got to start questioning, right? We got to start, like, see, my thing is, it's always going to be a conspiracy, right? It's always going to be something that's coming out that seems like it was a secret. But it was always a foundation that was laid for that. Every year there's a conspiracy theory. Every year it's a new conspiracy, right? Why is that? Why is that? Right? So when we say, why is there secret knowledge on the back end for what? Conspiracies. And all knowledge is secret knowledge is information, and all conspiracies is what? Gathering of information that other people don't have privy to show you the truth. That's what's supposedly the truth of what's going on. So and what I'm really trying to say, all we doing is playing with information and adding our spin, our title, our narrative to it. Because from all the authors that I've read, it's been their narrative based on their observation, based on who has told them what. So when we sit back and we ask ourselves, okay, well, why is there secret knowledge? Why are they trying to keep the public from this? Why are they trying to keep the public from that? If I can be honest with y'all, how I feel, and I sit here and think about it, right? I feel like these people truly don't even know, right? They doing what they've been taught. They're they are doing what they have been taught to do. They have been doing whatever whatever is necessary to get them to wherever they need to go. Right? Because another reason I say this, right? When we say, well, why is there secret knowledge? I went on and looked up how many billionaires are there in the world, right? Let me see. Let's get into this real quick, right? So let's go off course from the topics, right? We're gonna go into the billionaires and then we're gonna get into some secret societies, definitions, and what the internet say about it. Little stuff I pulled from Google. So let's tag this wealth talk real quick and overthink this, right? When we talk about secret knowledge. The total billionaires on the planet is like 2000 and some change, right? Now, a lot of people don't even think about this. And so if people ain't realized yet, if this is secret knowledge, there are billionaires on every continent. On every continent. The poorest continents and the richest countries, all that, right? So I'm looking, right? I'm looking, and I'm like, the total net worth of all the billionaires is like 8 trillion or something like that, right? So I'm sitting here thinking, overthinking about it. And I'm like, well, if it's this many billionaires and it's people like me and you, and some of these billionaires in Africa, say for instance, right? And then we see all of this stuff going on in their countries, or we see that our particular country is sending money over here, or we see in that people struggling over here, over there. It's like we got to start realizing that, okay, if it's 2,000 something billionaires and it's on every, and that's not a secret, it's on every country, and we over here looking for knowledge from, I guess, these elite people that got all this money, or these elite people that's making these decisions, when at the end of the day it's out of date politicians and different things of that nature. If I can be frank, and I ain't even into politics, I don't even vote, to be honest with you. So at the end of the day, I'm like, man, this whole thing is a game. It's a scam in a sense, because If you got people that's doing well in your country, but they can't replicate that with people within their country, that's a problem, right? And building infrastructure and industry and different things of that nature, right? So because any billionaire today, I mean, is a small fortune from what the Carnegies and all these other big industry guys was doing back in the early 1900s. So, and I say this on this particular topic because there is nothing a secret out here. The only thing that's out here that we got to start realizing as people, when I say people, I'm talking about people that's not in the elite or in the position of where you want to be at, I would say too, is that at the end of the day, with everything going on, it's a sense of accountability. Because if we have all of this currency in circulation, all of this economy and all of this industry and different things of that nature, and then for us to get, oh, can you contribute to this over here with these feeding these kids and different things of that nature, you have to start to ask yourself, well, why y'all like that? Right? Now, this you gotta really ask yourself, right? Because it's the same thing that happened in every country. It's on every continent. It's you got high class, low class, poor class, people out here living on the street, starving, different things of that nature. And the reason why I say it's in a sense of accountability and why I'm tying it in the secret knowledge is because ain't nothing secret. There's nothing secret, right? It's all information. And so we can't continue to use, like, be scared and use the excuse of the elites this, the elites that, these people making all this money and different, that, and the third. And then somebody like even Elon Musk saying, oh, you can't end all the world problems with a $1 billion and feed all the people. And it's just like, it don't even take money to feed people. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, that's why I say it's really an accountability thing when it comes to the knowledge that we get, whether you believe that it's a secret or not. Right? It's in knowledge, and knowledge is information, and this information that we get, whether it's good or bad, has to be applied and has to be action behind it, right? So we can't. And one thing I realized about looking up that particular stat about the billionaires is that we can't, the people that help run the nations and help make these people who they are, we can't depend on those people in order for things to be a certain way in our society, right? We as the people have to put in the action steps in understanding the laws and principles that govern this whole system. When I say system, we're talking about planetary system, in order to get what we want in society and out of society, right? But we can't keep going under the illusion that other people are going to do it for us, or we can put our money behind or vote for somebody to do it for us, or this person, because they look like they're a good leader and they sound like they know what they're talking about, they're going to do it for us, or that's because that's what they're saying. We can't continue to do that as the people, as we the people, right? So, and another reason why I say that, right? Every coup d'etat, revolution, whatever you want to say, all happens with who? The people. It don't happen with no 1% and different things of that nature, unless it's being what? Orchestrated. But that's not a secret. And that's what I'm saying. Once you know certain things or how things are governed, certain things are not a secret anymore. It's either, okay, this is what it is, or this is what it is. It ain't no secrets, right? And then if something comes out and transpired, it wasn't a secret. You're just new to the information. It's a difference, right? It's because it goes back into the what we were talking about, the purpose of life and death, a renewing, right? It's the same thing with the information. Just because you were late getting the information, it's just what it seems new to you, but to somebody else, it's old. We've been on that. We've been establishing that. That's why we light years ahead of y'all. So it's not secret, but it's not secret though, right? And I'm pretty sure they got that information from somewhere else that's privy, most likely, to the public. That's what we got to remember. That's what we call the public or the people, right? Of mass. So another thing I want to go on top of, another topic I want to go on, get down to is secret societies, right? We were talking about the occults and secret societies a little bit, but I want to go in a little bit more on it because I was looking up what Google had to say about it, right? And the reason why I go on Google and the internet is because why not? Like, I could read books all day on people opinions and different things, and we got to remember that all that engine search stuff is just a gathering of other people's opinions and information and articles and stuff digitally. It ain't no different than reading a book, right? So see, the secret society is a secret society, right? Says the definition usually usually rely on the degree of secret. I just took a snippet of it. It says usually rely on the degree of secrecy. So that's all it is when we talk about an organization, a fraternity, a sorority, right? A ministry. It's a degree of secrecy. All right. So let's go into one of the books, the Kabbalion. Right. Let's get into the Kabbalion real quick. One of my favorite books, to be honest, that I read just when it comes to universal law and universal principles. Right. One of the chapters on here is the law of polarity, if I'm not mistaken. Right. So let me find it real quick. Divine paradox, what I want. All right, so let me see. But anyways, the law of polarity is stating that everything has its own degree, right? And so 77 degrees ain't the same as 75 degrees, right? So 77 degrees ain't privy to what 75 degrees doing. So when we talk about secret societies, that's all it is. It's them putting up a wall between them and whoever else they don't want inside it, right? And we can't take it. And sometimes we tend to take it more than what it is. And I'm starting to feel like, as I'm overthinking, that's becoming more of a distraction, right? Because we have to remember too, in the Kabbalion, the law of cause and effect, right? What's causing this in order to get whatever type of effect that is getting right now? You get what I'm saying? And then we got to think about it. Is it distracting people from implementing real results? Because that's one of the most important thing about information is the application to real time, right? So when we can even call that a secret, but as I'm sharing it, we know it's not. Is when you gather information is to put it into action, and to put it into action, you get the result that you're looking for. When you meditate, and when I say meditate, I'm just saying meditate, mainly clear your mind so you can clear your mind on what objective you're trying to get to. But these things aren't secrets, what I'm saying, right? These things aren't secret. So even when we talk about secret knowledge, secret societies, and all of these occults, we have to really re-engineer what is going on, right? Because we even get into magic and all of these different things. People want to say they doing the pentagrams and all of this stuff. You already doing magic. What is magic that you not doing when you already the pentagram? That's what I'm saying. When we talking about secret knowledge, what are we talking about? We pentagrams. If I stand up right now, you got 5-pointed star. What are we talking about? So why would you need to do a circle and do certain type of rituals when you already are the ritual? These are the secrets, right? If we gonna call secret knowledge something, these are probably more some of the secrets that they ain't not telling you that we talking about. But everybody talks about this stuff, right? In some degree, right? Because of the law of polarity, which is a universal law, right? So secret societies, occult, secret knowledge is a degree of secrecy, meaning delayed information. But the basis is still what? Information. So remember when people come on here and they act like they giving you something that's, oh, this big old conspiracy, this, that, and the third. Have discernment and don't be so quick to feed into it, because it could be there to distract you. It could be there to slow you down. Right? We can even get distracted by the positive information. Let me say this again. We can even get distracted by the positive information. This is me overthinking. Right? Because we get caught up in the fact that we gotta listen to somebody to get motivated. We gotta do this or do that. No. Nah. Sometimes that is a distraction, because while we over here listening to this person to get motivated and doing this, we could have already been doing what we had to do and getting it done. So remember, ain't nothing a secret no more. There's no secrets. There's no secrets anymore. Just being honest with y'all. So at the end of the day, go out there and get the information that you want. Go out there and get the knowledge that you want, and apply it to your life so you can live the life that you want, because it's all about how you living at the end of the day. Because the people that are certain that are at certain degrees in their life, right, are certain plateaus of their life, they making a certain amount of money and different things of that nature. A lot of them not worried and concerned are trying to keep information away from you. They just doing what they do in their life. We are the ones, well, I ain't gonna say not everybody, because some of the stories come from somewhere and they construct it. That's how I see it, because to me it's all entertainment. And when I say that, it's just entertainment in the sense of, when you looking out here in the world, it's stuff that we see on the movies and different things of that nature, right? And I explained why in the first episode, so if you want to see why, you can go back there. But the real, our opener is, at the end of the day, there's no such there is no real secret knowledge, because somebody know about it. And all secret knowledge is information, right? The Kabbalion, the information that's in here could be known as secret, the study of the Hermetic philosophy of ancient Egypt and Greece, right? These were certain mastermind and fraternities back in the day, where these people did big think tanks and all of these different things and kept it from the public, and they would meet in secret. Secret, what that mean? Alone, right? That's another synonym for it. Lonely, right? Alone. So it's like they do certain, like they use words and they play off our misintelligence of information and misplacement of knowing how to see the word, right? Anytime we see a word, we should have automatically the synonyms coming up with that word, right? The way that we should be thinking. For me, that's how it works for me. So if I see a word, I want to know what are other words that can be plugged in the same way that word is. The reason why is because I don't want to be confused by the message that's being portrayed. Let me say it again. I want to know other meanings to the word, because I don't want to be confused by the message that is being portrayed, right? So that's why I look up, right, the word ministries, because I have a company with the label ministries. Ministries is another word for a government organization. Ministries is not a religious body. So you got to know this, right? Like we went over glory the other day. People of renown, people that get renown, a celebrity. That's all it is, right? So when we start to really see things in a sense of abundance, right? In a sense of abundance, we can start to really see a lot of this stuff is not a secret. It's not a secret. It doesn't take everything that they tell us that it takes to get what we need on the planet or the society that we want. No, it takes us wanting to actually have it, right? And that's all it is, because that's how we built the world thus far. Whether we think there's a shadow government, a secret society that's running things, this, that, and the third. Yeah, it is secret because you ain't part of the crew. And that's all it is. Because if you was part of it, you would know what was going on. And in some faction, in some way, you are part of it because you are being hit with a cause in order to get some type of effect. So you still got to play your part within it all. They can't, like, if we even try to put that much power on 1% and this, that, and the third, right? They still can't do nothing or operate without you. Without you, it can't. And when I say you as the individual, and then us as the one whole, the all, the community, the people. It takes us. We are the nation builders. It's not them. They maintain nations. And that can be anybody that learned the skill of maintenance or maintaining at any scale. That's all I'm saying. Because we got to remember, no matter how much of a secret they want it to be, we know about, let's go outlandish. If you don't know about aliens, right? That's not a secret. So if you see an alien, you should have been expecting one. Why? Because they said they were out here was a possibility. I'm not saying it is or it's not true, but what I'm saying is the information tells you you could be aware about this, even if it's not true. So if it pops up, oh, okay, cool. If it don't pop up, I still go with my life. That's it. Right? Let's go into some other secrets. Global crisis. Right? Global crisis. Everybody talking about, oh, global crisis, this, that, and the third. Armageddon, end times, blackout, shutout, whatever else, right? Cool. But that information not a secret. And then if somebody know when it's gonna happen, they the only ones that's privy to the information now, because everybody gonna know in good enough time. And if it don't happen, we still go on with our daily lives. But if it do happen, we aware of, whoa, okay, they said it was gonna happen. But if it don't, we keep going. Just like everything else in the world, just like everything else on this planet, on this realm. That's why I use these certain type of words and I repeat planet, realm, world. It's all the same thing. But they want you to believe that when you see planet, you thinking of Jupiter, Mars, Saturn, things out here in space. What is space? Space is the space in between me and the physical object, me and matter. That is what space. Why is space? Why is space there? So we can continue to move on. This stuff is not a secret. The information is here, right? The information is here. So when we sit back and we ask ourselves, and we truly ask ourselves about the information, ask ourselves, okay, what is the secret knowledge that I'm looking to get? I'm looking to be wise. I'm looking for wisdom, right? You praying for wisdom of Solomon, right? When you ask for this, or you do certain things, right? Say I'm asking for this, right? And you go out looking for something. You go out looking for something. This is what's going on, right? We go on our spiritual journeys, we go out looking for something. Looking for the secrets of the journey of the spirit of the world, who we are. And guess what happens? You start observing and collecting information. And then from that information, you learn things that you did not know before. And we grow. That's it. One of the things that we went over to in the last video, if y'all want to catch it, is, what was the purpose of life? And one of the things that it said, adapt, learn, and grow. So, and that's all we do with the information, whether we believe that it was secret information and we had to conspire in order to get it. So now it becomes a conspiracy theory. Regardless, information is the base. You can't have a conspiracy theory without proper information, without wrong information. It doesn't matter. You cannot have it without the information. You can't have a secret without the information. You can't have knowledge without the information. And all of the words that I'm using is, I'm not sure if knowledge and information is a synonym, but I'm pretty sure you can look it up and tell me if I'm right or I'm wrong. It really don't matter to me. But at the end of the day, I just want to help get people out the sense of that somebody is holding a veil over your eyes. Right? I'm just being real. Like right now, we was taught that there was a veil over our eyes, and that since we've been in the age of Aquarius, there's the age of information, which is cool, which is true because it lines up to the advance of technology. Okay. But as we're finding out, right, there is nothing new under the sun. One of the best philosophers, Socrates, my favorite, he says, all I know is I know nothing. All I know is I know nothing. Now you're talking about one of the greatest philosophers of all time, ain't write none of his work. Plato wrote everything. Plato was his understudy. He was taught by a divine master teacher woman. So what we talking about, right? When we talking about knowledge and knowing, and we talking about one of the greatest minds on the planet say, I don't know nothing. What are we talking about? So information is all that it is. It's information. We can't say that we know. We can't say that we this, that, and the third. That's why I say all we can do is go by what works based on the action that's being put in, based off the information that's being observed, that's being internalized through intuition, through intent, through desires. Okay, so I'm hoping y'all flowing with me, y'all drifting with me, and what I'm saying is making sense, right? Because one of the things that I'm striving to do with this particular podcast, the Overthink It, is to get people to actually think, even if we got to overthink it for a little bit, right? Not get lost in the sauce, but just overthink it to the point where we can start to add common sense to some of these things. Because that's what we're missing from a lot of this information. It's just putting the common sense behind it so we can move properly. So one thing about the people are what run the planet. The people. All right. The biggest secret, if there was a secret, is that you are priceless. Say this again. You are priceless until somebody puts a price on you. Okay? Say this again. You are priceless until somebody puts a price on you. Meaning that you are the ultimate value on the planet. We, the people, the masses that we see every day, people like you and me, we are the ones that dictate and how things operate on the planet, because we are the ones that hold the most value. That's why when we even get into the talk about, I realized I was overthinking about this, right? When we get into, let's get into it, right? Matter of fact, we got the books. When we get into the whole authentication of the birth certificate, saying that the Social Security is a bank account with certain amount of money in there for us as an individual because we hold a certain value, right? I just said that we are priceless. Is as God beings, title, whatever, however you want to say it, divine beings, energy beings, spirit beings, it doesn't matter. It's all the title, right? We are the value. We are the ones that bring the value. We are it. That's why governments walk on eggshells based on what the people are doing. That's why they go through putting up propaganda, feeding false information, setting up out of date education, setting up whatever you want to say to keep people distracted and down, because they don't want to have to walk on eggshells, because they don't want people starting a coup d'etat revolution or rioting in their streets or what they think is their streets, because we have given them the power to what? Manage our affairs. That's it. Right? So one of the things, right? So me and your straw man, let's get back into this, right? Me and your straw man in the UCC connections, reading these two books and overthinking about these two books helped me realize that we are the value. We are priceless. So when they put in the distraction of saying, what are they saying? Oh, you got this certain amount in your bank. How? 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 Now we got to really think about this. We gonna say that they owe all us $1 million and three whatever this mule and some land, whatever, right? If you are a priceless being, if you are a God being, an energy being, how can there be a price on you until somebody what lowers you down to a price? You can be whatever you want. They can say, oh, you supposed to be, you got $1 million in your bank account. But if you have inside you to be one of the aspired billionaires or a multimillionaire, why are you settling for what's in your Social Security account? If money is even important to you. You see what I'm saying? All of these, right? This book is about laws and principles. Laws and principles, right? About what though? About what? The straw man. This one is the UCC connections, how to free yourself from legal tyranny. It's laws and principles. Laws and principles. It ain't nothing about no money. Money is is a byproduct, is a byproduct of what you produce in the world based on service product, based on time put in, based on experience. It's byproduct. And if it wasn't money, it'll be something else filling this role. Because you don't need money to live. But the thing is, we are designed to what? Move, to work, to put in action, to inspire. But the most important word is to create, whether negative or positive. Because of what? The universal law of polarity that's in the Kabbalion. All laws and principles tie into every other law and principle. You cannot run away from laws and principles, because laws and principles are what ties this whole thing together. We can say it's a simulation. We can say it's a game. We can say it's being created by one orchestrator, the unbound one, the heavenly Father, however you want to say it, right? We can say we all started from a big bang. At the end of the day, everything that we just mentioned was constructed by laws and principles, whether known or unknown. Nothing happens at random. Well, I ain't gonna say that, because all I know is I know nothing. But for the most part, from what I see in my observation, there's not too much that's happening at random. When the wind blows in the direction that the wind's supposed to blow. The wind don't just be blowing however the wind want to blow. It might seem like that to you, but the wind is blowing exactly how the wind need to be blowing. But that's based on laws and principles. So you have to understand the laws and principles so you can start to flow and blow like the wind when you out here in society, and be deliberate in how you moving. You know which way you going. You know which way you blowing. You know which way you flowing, because you ain't tied into what people have painted in the distractions, because you ain't worried about everything. You can detach yourself. Okay, so we got to detach from the secret knowledge and thinking that these people trying to keep some stuff from us. We got to get out the mindset of, oh, it's a 1% that's trying to hold us back from this, that, and the third. Bro, it ain't no 1%. If you want to be the 1%, you're going to be the 1%. But we have to put in the action behind the information, because all the information is here for us for whatever we want to inspire to do in this life, whether negative or positive. That's on you, how you want to use the laws and principles to your power. Right? We talked about it earlier. What is magic? You are the magic. That's magic. How do we know this? Well, if you stand up, spread your arms and legs, you will what? Pentagram. Come on, what are you asking for? You have imagination. You can use vision. Not only that, you can go in action and start to manifest these things. Not only that, you can be filled with the Spirit and act like another person. So what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, there is no secret. Whether people want to have this spin of that, there are secrets out here, right? There are things that's out here for the chosen few. And when I say this, they not wrong, but don't take it as the picture they have narrated or painted it for you. That's what I'm trying to say. When you talk about a chosen few, you're talking about a chosen few for a particular thing. That's it. That's why I say everybody chosen, because everybody is chosen for a particular task, whether negative or positive. That's it. That's it. And once we start to get down to the basicness of the complexity, it gets boring, right? It gets very boring, because like, oh man, that's it. That's all it was, right? Man, wow, I didn't know that. Until what? We transcend and get and have our energy, right? What we really are, go to the next one. That's when we was talking about the purpose of life and death, because it's what? It recycles. Everything keeps going and recycles. It's a recycling. We wouldn't recycle if things in the universe wasn't recycling itself. Let me put it to you like that. Why? Because of the book again, the Kabbalion, one of my favorite books, is because of the law of as above, so below. So if we recycle as people, just in nature, Happy New Year's, brother. Good to see you. So if we recycle as humans, we see the outside of us recycled. Once we transcend, we recycled. Our avatar, what we see in the mirror, what you see right now, right? Because when I walk without looking in the mirror or on the phone, I can't see myself. I'm just straight VR mode. You get what I'm saying? It's just hands, feet, until I see somebody or whatever. So we got to remember, this stuff don't go with us. All this stuff get recycled back. Even if you want to say it's clones out here. Oh man, here you go. It's still, the material get recycled. All of this stuff gets recycled. right? So when we talking about we're talking about death, death is a what? Transitioning. It's a recycling. So you ain't got nothing to be scared about. Usually when you get recycled, you get reused. So you're good. You're good. If some of y'all was worried out there about it, I appreciate the love, y'all. All right. So that's my main thing, man. When it comes to this, is we gotta get out the fear base. When I say fear base, I mean the fear that doesn't bring wisdom. The fear that doesn't bring wisdom. You have fear that brings distraction, and you have fear that brings doubt, right? But then you have on the flip side of that, we gotta remember it's always a flip coin to everything. You have fear that brings wisdom, right? So if you're gonna use the fear, use it for wisdom, meaning be fearful for the fact that you are powerful above any measure and that you can go out here and do what you want to do. So I'm going to use that fear to really see if it's possible. Get what I'm saying? Using that to drive you and to be wise and deliberate and have discernment in what you're doing. But not doubting and not having that distract you. I think Will Smith, he might have said it in what's the movie with his little son in it? Y'all know the movie. I forget right now. But he was talking about how you got a home fear. It's just it's if you go if it's a part of your imagination, imagine it for your benefit instead of for your destruction. Ain't nothing a secret out here, y'all, no more. So ain't nothing to be scared of. Ain't nothing to be fearful of. Right? So let's see. So another thing that I wanted to say too was about secret societies is that a lot of people don't know that certain secret societies and occults is banned in other countries. All right. The reason why I say this, Italy is one of them, Poland, because they have certain political aims. Right. But what be the political aims? Right. For the secret societies and the secret knowledge. Let's tap into the government now. Right. For this last couple minutes. The whole purpose is to get themselves and people that's a part of their mastermind tribe or team in position to make plays for their team. See, I'm a coach, so I see everything as sport. If I make a secret society, that's like me making my team. We gonna call our plays that we don't share nothing with, nobody with, right? So secret society, my team, we ain't sharing no information with nobody. And then we got political aims to put our boys in office and our ladies in office. So they put and pass the laws and the regulations and the rights so we can operate and do business the way we want to do business. So when we classify the 1%, that's what the 1% are. That's it. It's people that's trying to put on for their peoples. And when we go out here and look at society, that's exactly what it is, right or wrong. It's people putting themselves in position to put on for their peoples. That's what the mafia did, right or wrong. You watch not your boy Scarface, but Godfather. Come on, man. What they did? What did they do? What the family business? Yeah, they had to do this and do that. But the goal was to what? Put people in position in order to further expand the family business, whether right or wrong. It don't matter at that point because we in expansion mode. The kids got to get with it. They don't want to get with it. Everything that the kids do expand on on the family name, on the family business. The family name is the family business. So when we go out here and watch movies and be entertained, the word entertainment is just there to distract you, because they can use and call every movie real life info movie or whatever. Right? And you can have a moral, it's a moral to the story, it's a lesson to be learned in every movie. In order to what? Apply it to your life in some type of way, negative or positive, however you want to go. It's your choice to choose. Right? You the magnet on this, boy. You the antenna. You have whatever you want to tune into, you can tune into. Right? The power is in your hands, right? It's like he told Spider-Man. He was talking to you. With great power comes great responsibility. He was talking to y'all, all the people on the planet. That's who he was talking to. Because of the power that we hold. And it's not a secret. We think that just because these people in high places and this, that, and the third, that they're doing something out of character. No, it goes secret knowledge. The Bible told you exactly what they're doing in the high places and principalities and this, that, and the third. Right or wrong, if you go by scripture, it tells you what they're doing. So how is it a secret? So, but what does it tell you to do to counteract that? Right? It tells you to go out here and put in the work, have faith and put in the work, but not your will, but my will. Right or wrong? So in order to counteract something, you got to go out here and work against it. You can't be out here and thinking that somebody is going to do it, because they can be fooling you and thinking that, okay, yeah, we're going to tell them that we're going to do it. So when we get their money, we really ain't going to do it. It's a scam. That's what those users are called. They're called scams. So we got to start taking the power back in our own hands. The power never left. Let me say it like this. The power never left. We just have to realize more and more day by day how much power we really do hold, right? We crash the market. They don't crash the market. We crash the market, right? We crash the market based on if we choose to go with what they want to go with, right? Because we uphold the value of the money. It's not the banks, right? They put money in circulation for us. For us. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. All right. So, I thank y'all for coming on. We're going to end it right there. I did not put the second episode. So if y'all was looking for the second episode, it was a problem. I didn't have enough memory. So on my phone, so when I was uploading the video, man, it didn't upload. So when I went to go do it, I had to wait, and it was this whole deal and get memory. So I'll have both the episodes out tomorrow afternoon. So y'all can go check out this episode. If you didn't catch this whole episode, y'all go check it out, because we talking about secret knowledge, and we went ahead and put everything out on the table, as in a sense of my perspective as an overthinker, and then from my observations, all right, to that set my perspective. Just remember, moving forward, going on these podcasts, I'm gonna do my best for everyone and for every podcast to intertwine and kind of build off each other. So for instance, tomorrow we're gonna be going on the war at hand and the global crisis. So we're gonna be going in on that tomorrow night. That's gonna be a little sticky subject because we funny as people, if I can be honest with you. We very funny as this people in this game called life, in this thing called life. We're very funny, and so we just gonna get on that. And I don't know what I'm gonna call it, the title tomorrow for the live. For all my YouTubers, it'll be something else. It'll actually be most likely the war at hand in 2024 global crisis. And the reason why we're gonna go on that particular topic is because we gotta continue to drive out the narrative of fear, or the narrative of what they want us to believe, right? I don't really like using that word, but the narrative of what they really want us to believe. And then if things are going on, how do we as people, right, come back? Because we also gonna get into writings, scriptures, and different things of that nature. And also we're going to keep on going on these words, right? Because as I said, scripture and script is really close. And it's like that for a reason. Like, we be thinking these things are designed because whatever higher power or whatever the case, but we going to just break that down, all of that down in tomorrow, the war at hand in that particular hour. But it is 1:00. So we are getting ready to log off. I am out. Peace, love, and life. Thank y'all again for being in the podcast. If you did not catch it, please check it out on YouTube. All my YouTubers. 11:45 tomorrow night. We be getting on live. I'm hoping I can get some posts in so to promote that, but we'll see. We'll see. You know how people be talking, myself included, don't even be getting nothing done. But anyways, we changing. Are we renewing, and transforming ourselves in order to be something greater than what we already are. All right. Peace, love.